Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Sunday. This is Game Day Live. Coming to you live from the Primetime Radio studios inside the bunker. And on top of the world, somewhere in beautiful New Jersey, streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, X Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network as the Devils take on the Edmonton Oilers in Alberta as they try to sweep again the Western Canadian road trip for a second year in a row. I don't know.
Yeah.
I am your host, Sam Wu, here with Shorts Guy. Vinny Parisi is on assignment. Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. It is an exciting time to be a New Jersey Devils fan because, well, they're on a 3-game heater. They're just winning, lots of winning. They're scoring 5-on-5. Guys are getting healthier. And is Brendan
You ran out of
lineup?
you ran out of stuff to say.
Yeah.
You probably used it all up. Yeah, you probably used it all up in the Woo report.
Or the football call last night.
Yeah, I know the football call.
The 95-yard field goal, record field goal by Nico Hischier. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good stuff. When we're getting football calls, that means we got John Marino joining into the fray, and that's always good. You can say what's up to Paul Marino because I know he listens to us. Big fan of the podcast. Big fan of Sam Wu is Paul Marino.
Yeah,
I know that.
He says he's going to pay $6 for a cameo to do a John Marino football call, customized John Marino football call. $6, my cameo. It makes a great gift for friends, family, And hey, and if you want me to talk a little trash as well, we can do a cameo. And if you want to help me lose weight and want to see me eat a salad while I do a cameo, those are actually available. I just got to figure out the price point for that.
Yeah. Well, you got to include the price of the salad too, but that's neither here nor there. We got the Devils out in Edmonton tonight, Sam. Or this afternoon, I guess, for us. This afternoon for us. This afternoon for them out in Edmonton. These are the nice Western Conference games. These are the nice Western Canadian games that happen in the afternoon for us on a weekend. 4:00 in the afternoon. What a great time. It's a little bit better for you.
Yeah.
For Devils After Dark. It's not at 2 a.m. today. It should be somewhere near 7.
Yep.
Which is much more favorable for you on the East Coast. But yeah, so Devils out in Edmonton. The Edmonton Oilers have been struggling. Another Western Canadian team that the Devils should be able to beat tonight. I know last night in the first period, not Akira Schmidt, it was Vitek in net yesterday. And Vitek, from what I heard, because I unfortunately missed the game because I was out in Brooklyn all day, but I heard Vitek is the reason why the Devils were in the game after the first period.
Well, yeah, and, also Jesper Bratt is quietly having a great season. He's over 30 points. This is game 26 tonight. And
that's good.
And the consistent scoring is there. Timo Meier had a good play last night as well, but it was
he scored, yeah.
No, actually, it was eventually credited to Alexander Holtz. But
was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But driving to the net, doing the
That's
little
how you create
things.
goals.
Yeah. So he gets an unofficial assist in my book, Timo Meier. I know a lot of Sam Wu haters think that I hate Timo Meier. Further from the truth, I like his game. I just don't like his contract. That's all.
Yeah, well, and that's fair. I mean, you can like the game and not like the contract, but he's got a really hard-nosed agent in Claude Lemieux, who we all remember from being a very hard-nosed player for the Devils.
Yeah.
So it makes no surprise that his player got a hard-nosed, hard-fought, hard-nosed contract. So
I bet you Claude Lemieux gets a good percentage of that. He probably
I guarantee it.
Probably bamboozled Timo. Be like, look, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have got that contract. So give me 20% instead of the normal 5%.
And let's be real. If Claude Lemieux is staring you down, are you going to say no to him?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, Tom Fitzgerald.
You would say no to Claude Lemieux? Claude Lemieux staring at you, and you would turn him down.
I would hide.
And you would say no.
I would hide.
Exactly.
I would hide.
And you would give him the 20% if he asked for it.
I'll give him 22 just because that's his number.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So good. So what are your thoughts going into Edmonton this afternoon there, Sammy?
Well, Dubs is like, and I was about to say this, that Edmonton is hot. 6 straight wins. Connor McDavid is just on fire. He's en fuego right now. Edmonton having a rough start this season. Now you've got 2 teams that had some trouble there last month.
Oh, big time, yeah.
Now getting hot. And this is a preview of the future in terms of playoffs, because it very well could be one day these 2 teams could make it to the Stanley Cup Finals because they have the offensive capabilities. Just both teams kind of similar with goaltending, defense, first overall picks. It's a good
There's
matchup.
similarities.
Yeah.
There are similarities, and it is a good matchup. I would still give us the edge in goaltending because Edmonton's – the bane of Edmonton's existence for the last – I can't count how many years – has always been goaltending.
Yeah.
Them in Toronto, very high-powered offenses, but they never were able to find that right goalie to really win them, put them over the line. When you've got your forwards making 10.5, 11, 12 million, it doesn't leave you a lot for goaltending. And the Oilers have misspent their money in goaltending. They got Stuart Skinner, which I would assume he's starting unless he played yesterday. I didn't look at what Edmonton did yesterday, and I would like to say I'm going to assume that Akira Schmid's going to start in net today, but then we've seen Lindy Ruff give the starting goaltender for the first game the next day in the back-to-back. It's got to be Schmid. I would assume so, but we assumed that it was going to be Vitek on the night of the Sharks game on a second game of a back-to-back. But my hope is that Lindy Ruff saw that was not a good strategy, and it is Schmid in net tonight, because I think Schmid earned himself another game after his performance the other night. He played very well. But we got, that's, so what is that? Two games in a row, the Devils have gotten good goaltending, which is what we've needed.
Yeah.
And
that's
huge. That is huge for us.
You could start Schmid 2 back-to-back games. Vanacek has a proven track record, has a track record of not being that good games 2 or 3 if the schedule aligns. Vanacek doesn't do well the next game.
Well, you can also argue that Akira doesn't do well because that Sharks game was not great.
That was just
so you can make that argument.
That was just.
I know it was just one game. It was just one game, but still, but
I don't think anybody played that great that game.
No one did. No, agreed. No one did. But it's. I would still rather see Akira Schmid tonight on the second game of back-to-back. But you're right. Vanacek's record with a lot of games under his belt is not very good. But someone's got to be able to handle every other day come playoff time. So we've got to get that, start getting in that mindset, because that's hopefully what we are going to be aiming towards come late March, early April, May, and then hopefully June.
Yeah. So the Devils have won 6 of 7.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking good right now.
They are.
Edmonton 6 straight. Devils doing well 5-on-5 as of late.
Yes, which is good. Which is really good.
Also, Lindy Ruff also is 1 win away from tying Ken Hitchcock for 849 wins for a head coach, 4th all-time in coaching wins.
That's crazy. That's awesome. That's so cool. It's and he could potentially get it tonight. And he is from Alberta. So to get it in Alberta, I think for him would be fantastic. To get one last win like that.
Yeah.
Or one more win, I should say, not one last win.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
rephrase that to
the
get that milestone win in Alberta. I think would be great for him.
Well, the next two teams are going to be tough because you've got Edmonton and then you got the Boston Bruins on Wednesday at the Rock. 7:30 start. We'll be
one of the random ones.
We'll be at American Whiskey, I'm assuming. Yeah, I think we'll be there.
One of us will.
Yeah, one of us. We'll figure it out.
This is how this
podcast. Yeah, this is how this podcast rolls. You just look. At the next day. Are you going to American Whiskey? Oh, I don't know.
Hey, Sam, do you know what you can get at American Whiskey?
What's that?
You can get Ann Crew Brew at American Whiskey.
Oh, really? Is that
Ann
Crew Brew where we make winning memories together, one crew at a time? Join our crew today.
That would be Ann Crew Brew, Sam.
Oh, wow. Also, I can now double confirm that January 6th, when the Devils take on the Vancouver Canucks, Hughes Bowl 2, we will have Rangers Suck fortune cookies giveaway presented by Ann Crew Brew.
I love it. I love it. And folks, everyone listen out there, all of our fans, I've seen pictures of them, and I've heard that they taste very good from one Sam Wu, who we know is not shy to eating anything. No. He has taste tested them. He says that they're very good, and they look really rad as well. So everyone needs to come out to American Whiskey on January 6th and get some Ranger Suck fortune cookies.
Yeah, they're official right now, and
they are official.
Yeah, they're official. They are. I got 700 of them. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. So we got plenty. Take more than one.
Yeah.
This isn't like Halloween where you only have to take one out of the bucket. You can take more than one. You can take 2, 3. Bring them home to your Ranger fan family and friends. Share them with all those that would annoy.
We got to incentivize people. If they have an Ann Crew Brew, if they got a Ann Crew Brew in their hand, they get multiple fortune cookies. But if they got a cheap Miller Lite, it's like, all right, here you can have one. But
well,
my goodness, we got a super chat. NY Davey, Sam, do you no salads in front of Cameo? We just liked the way you are. Well, thank you, NY Davey. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. So people
what
are
if it's a Sam salad? What if it's a Sam salad? Because that's a different type of salad.
Yeah.
There's a salad and a Sam salad.
I like ribs with sprinkled in parsley, in there.
Which is your salad.
Yes. But Steve Engel asked, is there a post game afterwards and then a show 9:00 also? Steve Engel, after calling me fat yesterday when I explained that I'm big boned, yes, we will have Devils After Dark and then the Let's Go Devils podcast, 9 p.m. Eastern edition.
Woo! Can't wait for that. That's always a good time.
Yeah. So there's nothing wrong about being big boned. It's just born that way.
I'm sure Mrs. Wu completely disagrees with you.
Mrs. Wu is the boss of the household, I'll tell you. Let's see.
I know that for a fact.
Yeah. So, but thank you, NY Davey. But hey, you know what? If you want a cameo, you just go on my Twitter account at Primetime Sam Wu. The link is pinned on the top. If you want a John Marino football call or you want me to talk trash for you because, you got a coworker at work that really annoys you, but, you don't have the wits to piss them off. I am the original troll, and I can do that for you.
Oh man, we got Stephen Engel saying it's stupid that they haven't released the jerseys for the outdoor game, and I would have to agree. It looks like Rocco and Art Heaton also agree as well. I would agree, and after seeing what they did in Utica, I have to say that's all the Devils need to do in order to make these jerseys look fantastic. But my faith in what the league and what the team is going to put out is not high. after having seen some of the things that the league has put out before, especially with those Rangers jerseys coming out, which look like crap.
Oh.
Aside from the fact that they're a Rangers logo, the jerseys themselves look like crap. It looks like that they designed them 15 minutes before they were due.
I would love to do it.
It's amazing. All they have to do is just what they did in Utica. That's all they have to do. And I'll be happy. I'll buy one in a heartbeat.
Honestly, I can do a knockoff of that Rangers jersey and just put that Rangers suck logo on it. I think that would sell. I think that would sell more than the actual.
We can get it done.
Yeah, I'm sure we can get it done. I'm sure we can get it done. Yeah. Yeah.
Shane says Fitz is getting us all a 1-year membership to the Jelly of the Month Club. Shane, that's the gift that keeps on giving all year long.
Let's see here. Insane Pollock asks, the cameo was Mrs. Wu's idea, right, Sam? No, Mrs. Wu doesn't think of everything. When she wasn't looking, I signed up. I actually had been trying to sign up for Cameo for a while. I think ever since Amanda Stein came out with a Cameo, I was like, I can do it. But every single time I got rejected. So I wasn't famous enough, I guess. And then eventually I got famous, or they lowered their standards. Probably a little bit of both. And
probably a little bit of both, yeah.
Yeah. And I was able to get an account. So I was like, all right. I did one yesterday talking highly of Lindy Ruff for a guy named Forge. And then another person, BK. I think of Burger King, but someone's name's BK. I did a cameo of talking about Brendan Smith,
Defensive, offensive, fourth line legend, Brendan Smith.
He is a jack of all trades.
He really is. He's that utility player that you have in fantasy hockey that you put wherever you need to, or that you just want for points. He's becoming that utility player that we can use on defense. We can use on the fourth line, which is kind of a good thing to have. You want that player, but it also, we got to give credit to Brendan Smith. Brendan Smith. They asked him to play out of position, and he did it.
Yep.
And he did it quite successfully.
Yep.
A defensive player like that can say, yeah, no, I'm a defenseman. Like, get out of here. Buzz off. But they said, hey, Brendan, we need you on the fourth line as a forward. And he said, fine. I'm curious if there was a discussion about it. Maybe he had a little bit of not disagreement, but if he was a little bit hesitant to do it. But the point being is he stepped up and he did it. He's really willing to do what he needs to do for this team. I think that's becoming more and more evident, even though we disliked him quite a bit. We kind of talked about him being, the next human mistake machine. But I give him credit for that.
You know what?
I give him a lot of credit for that.
I never disliked Brendan Smith. I liked making fun of him on the podcast, but I never really disliked it because, you need those type of players in the locker room. But one person, good friend of the podcast, who actually had to make that transition was Moose in the NWHL and PHF.
Very true.
Originally a defenseman, trying to get playing time, moved to the forward position with the Riveters, and then eventually moving back to defense.
Yeah.
So it's different. Now I think it's probably easier to go from defense to forward than forward to defense for the very reason on the positioning and trying not to screen your own goaltender, right?
Yeah. I mean, because you and I have both seen it when we've played, when a forward gets stuck back on D because of whatever, a rush or a defenseman pitching up or a quick rush back, and it's only a forward and a defenseman back. A forward is not very, unless they're a defensive forward. For the most part, a forward is not very good at positioning, and it's definitely going to be easier for a defenseman to go up and play forward, and also that defensive mindset will be there as well, so that they will be a little bit more responsive on the defensive side of the game, and get back a little bit quicker than a forward would potentially do playing defense. So yeah, I would say that defense going up to forward is definitely much easier. I'll tell you what's kind of interesting is going from defense or going from goal to anywhere else on the rink. that Sam, I'll tell you, is quite a transition.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even recognize you that one time years ago when I saw you playing out.
Yeah, at Prudential Center. Yeah, that was a good time. That was a real good time playing out. Playing out and goal in the Prudential Center. It was really cool.
Yeah, and do you know who should transition to forward?
Who?
Kevin Ball.
Why would you do that? Curious.
His minutes are dwindling right now
Mm-hmm.
as we speak. He's got size. He's got the reach. I think he would be like a Nathan Bastian up front. If you need a little beefalytics up there, putting Kevin Ball, I want to experiment. I want to put Kevin Ball on PP2, and his job is to sit.
Put him right in the crease. Yep.
Right in the crease.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
And you can do that while keeping him as a defenseman. You can just throw him out there and be like, listen, this is your job. Just go screen the goaltender and don't get pushed out of the way. Like, stay in the slot. Do not get moved from the slot. He just makes if as long as he has the hands to potentially chip something in that's in his feet or that is, close to his feet, it would be a very interesting put as far as having him plop down in front of net for PP2.
He wins.
And he's a big body for a screen.
Yeah.
He's a big body for a screen.
Plus, he wins the battles in the corners.
Mm-hmm.
In the defensive zone, that could be very helpful on the power play, trying to dig out the puck when you have that size and reach. Just saying.
Yeah, and also, like, we're thinking of these power play changes when we have one of the top power plays in the league.
Yeah.
So it's not like it would have to be done because of desperation or because we have to do something with the power play. Like, that would be an interesting put, though, as far as having him, be in the screen.
Now watch it happen in 2 to 3 weeks from now because that's an outlandish idea. But everybody's been telling us that, hey, you guys said that a few weeks ago, and then we heard it somewhere else. Like,
it'll be featured. It'll be featured in in an upcoming article this week, much like a lot of the things that are said on our podcast.
Yeah,
that a couple days later come out in the in
here's
the
the article.
Media.
Here's the article headline: Put wrecking ball up front? Question mark.
Yeah. Wrecking ball up front. Yeah, it's coming to a traditional media outlet near you. Hot take from De La in the Let's Devils podcast.
Yeah, hot takes. Just remember about Alexander Holtz, okay? All
confirmed,
summer.
Unconfirmed.
All
confirmed,
summer.
Unconfirmed.
Yeah, all summer. I'm telling you. All right, let's get to predictions.
I was just going to say, Sam, let's start getting everyone start putting your predictions out there into the YouTube chat, or whatever chat you're in. Start putting your predictions so we can read them out loud. Devils going into Edmonton tonight. Edmonton is coming in hot. We're coming in hot. We have two teams with hot offense and somewhat mediocre goaltending right now and defense. I would say we have the edge in goaltending over Edmonton. But you know what? It could be a high-scoring affair tonight, Sam. We could see a Sam Wu score at the end of today's game. It's very possible to see a Sam Wu-style score at the end of today's game.
Very possible. Very possible. I see Michael Hay commenting.
Oh, we got a lot coming in. This is awesome. We got a lot coming in.
5-3, one empty netter, Michael Hay. Yuri Meza, the Facebook Live, 4-2 Devils. Schwim.
Okay.
Schwim liked the podcast on Facebook, so just
Schwim.
Yeah. All right. No holla today, Amanda just said, according to NYDB.
That's not good.
I
liked having him back.
Yeah, that will alter my score a little bit. Zach says 3-1 Devils.
Mm-hmm.
Select the Boy says 4-3 Devils. Steve Engel says 4-3 Devils overtime. 8-4 Devils, says Shane Van Sickle. The Insane Pollock says 5-4 Devils. Art Heaton says 5-4 Devils overtime. Dubs is like 6-5 Devils.
Whew. A lot of high-scoring affairs there, Sam.
Yeah.
A lot of high-scoring predictions here. I'm going to go with my prediction, Sam. I'm going to go 6-3 Devils tonight. Devils with a win. Akira Schmid getting me points in fantasy. Jack getting me points in fantasy. Luke getting me points in fantasy. Whoever I have on my fantasy team is more than welcome to give me points today because I absolutely need it to win this week. But 6-3 Devils, and we leave Western Canada on a high note going into Wednesday's game against Boston. Hopefully going to win. Sam, your Samu prediction of the day is what?
Well, I also want to get to Chris Darren at Relax Chris on Twitter saying 6-3 Devils.
Hey.
Yeah, that's right. 6-3 Devils. I'm going to go with Chris. 6-3 Devils.
You're going with me as well?
Yeah, 6-3 Devils. It just feels
6-3.
good. It feels good.
It does.
Yeah. And it feels good when you're having an Ancrew brew, a red light lager, as you're pounding them, as the Devils are pounding the Edmonton Oilers. They're going to crush them.
Crush them like we crush Ancrew brew at American Whiskey.
Yes.
Pre-game, before a Devils game.
And remember to vote for Peyton. I'll put the link out on my Twitter handle at PrimetimeSamWoo to be the bar boss. Limited time. Vote every day. That's what we've been doing, helping Peyton out as well. Also, Devils After Dark, after the game, Scotty at SiriusXM, Liquid Metal, and I will recap the game that was. Could there be a football call? I don't know if I have one in me today, but we'll have to.
Your voice is not going to like you if there's a football call.
I'm as doubtful to questionable. You know the status.
Day to day. You're day to day. You're day to day with the UBI. UBI
hour
day
to
to
hour.
day.
Yeah. All right. Thank you to everybody tuning in, dropping the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music Prime, Audible, iHeart app. Till next time, let's go Devils.